Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever Glimesh Incorporated board meeting. This is the July 2021 board meeting. Thank you all for being here. This is our first ever board meeting. We actually have been doing weekly team meetings up until this point, but now that we've been doing, we've been doing this for a couple of months now, it's time to kind of adjust the format a little bit. To basically give ourselves a little bit more of a perspective to look at. One of the things we also want to do is make these meetings a little bit more focused on the business, and hopefully in the near future we can actually have slightly funner events for the whole community, talking about features or changes or all sorts of stuff. Before I begin, I want to remind everyone here that anything that you say in text or over voice will be recorded and sent over the internet on glimesh.tv and also uploaded to YouTube after the fact. If you don't consent to that, please don't talk in either of those locations. This is our first time doing this new format, so if you can bear with me here a little bit, I'm trying to just get accustomed to what has been a weekly routine for so many months and now is a monthly routine. It also has a slightly different format as well. We are covering different topics. This may be a slight difference to some people. We're going to be talking less about features and more about the business as a whole. And then one of the nice things about this format is we'll actually be producing these board meeting notes to the public, just like we do our team meeting recordings, but we'll be posting these kind of ahead of time. That way we can review. And then in the future, we hope to email these to anyone who opts in to company updates. Now, we don't have that today, but in the future, we'd like to continue to share this with any of you who care. This format will include a Q&A. I think ideally, we do it the same way as the team meeting, which means if you have a question on a particular subject that we're on, like something that we're talking about right now, then definitely ask your question. If it's unrelated or just a general curiosity, just hold it until the very end and we'll continue the stream and answer any kind of questions there may be. I think one of the things we can do is when we have our more fun community events, we could actually have a more in-depth like QA session. Maybe we can even have guests that we interview or take live questions from Discord members or anything like that. So this, we're going to be a little bit more focused, but we will answer any questions that you have at the very end of the stream. So I'm just going to say a couple of things real quick to get us started. This, as I said, this is the Glimesh Incorporated board meeting for July 2021. In attendance is Luke Strickland, which is myself. I officially make quorum of the business, so we can proceed with this meeting. All right, so I'll go ahead and start us on the new kind of format. What I'll do is I'll be kind of like half reading this. I don't want to bore you with text that's already on the screen, but this is a little bit more focused. It is a little bit more text heavy. I'm going to start off with our executive report, which is essentially just me or other members of the team talking about kind of overall strategy, direction, and updates. As I said before, this is our first regular board meeting. This is replacing all of our team meetings, our weekly team meeting, and we're going to be very focused. So let's just start off here. In June, we've seen a slight decline of our average streamers. It's been kind of a crazy ride. We've got some graphs below that'll help kind of illustrate it. So far, though, our weekly viewership for June has actually been up at 2,661, and right now the average channel has about 3 concurrent viewers throughout their stream. Now there are some streams where people have no viewers or they have 10 viewers, but the overall average of everyone is about 3 concurrent viewers. We also had about 30,000 unique visitors visit the site last month, which is still a really great number. That's still a whole bunch of people. 30,000 is not an insurmountable number of people. And then we had about 1,146 newly registered users, which those are people who have immediately went into chats and streamed, people who have started streaming for the first time on Glimesh, or maybe even started streaming the first time ever. And so we are kind of we're not feeling the absolute green week over week growth that we all want to see. But we do have people coming in. We do have new people joining the Glimesh website. Just 2 days ago, we had a good amount of streams. I think we had about 25 streamers on, maybe even 30 streamers that were live at that one particular time. And so I, of course, made sure to visit as many streams as I could, interact. If I didn't get a chance to visit your stream, I apologize. I'm definitely a lurker first. I know a lot of us at least lurk in the beginning, but I'm critical. Like, I'm a total introvert, so I lurk a lot. But anyways, so right now Glimesh is in a pretty awkward state, as I've mentioned before, as we've talked about in the team meetings. We have a really dedicated community who sticks with us through growth or not growth, through feature stagnation or new features, but overall we're not really attracting new users. Our main company focus at the moment is the mobile app that we've been talking about and delivering more reliable video experiences. Those two things combined are going to be the key that can really help to start churn out that growth. Our goal really is to make sure that, right now we're working on accessibility for people to be able to watch streams. Right now we have a lot of streamers and a lot of viewers who have issues with packet loss, who have issues watching videos because they're of a higher quality than they can, actually consume. We have streamers who have, routers who kind of throttle their network connection. A whole bunch of just problems that stem from really just the kind of diversity we have in streaming. And one of the things we want to do is we want to be able to point that down, focus that energy down on a more reliable solution, but then also make sure that we have debugging tools and diagnostic tools which can help us detect video issues sooner and hopefully give you, the streamer or the viewer, a push in the right direction. So my personal goal is to start community testing our mobile app kind of as we approach the end of July. And we also want to line up any kind of video changes that we're doing as well, as close to that deadline as possible. So things are still pretty early. The app is not going to be a finished product by any means at the end of July, but hopefully we can give the community something to play around with. And we can get the feedback churning in early and get more people's eyes on it as soon as possible. So on that topic, June also saw the lowest number of community contributions from the development side of things. We've had a lot of people just get busy with real life commitments or other projects that they're working on. So development has definitely kind of narrowed down. But our marketing team, on the other hand, has showed a dramatic increase of not only contributors, but of really great social media posts and focused campaigns. We've published, I think, over 6, maybe 5 or 6 videos that have gone up to Twitter and Facebook and all sorts of places that focus on, some of our unique features like FTL, some of our features like being on the home page randomly, all sorts of stuff that kind of help new users understand what Glimesh is all about and get them used to some of the features that we have going for us. Yes, I have an AC unit because I live in a hot place. Sorry about that. And so for everyone here, thank you for attending this first board meeting. I really want to make sure that we're growing. I really want to make sure that the community feels happy. I think your success is our success, and our success is your success. You always have an option of choosing what platform you want to stream on or consume content on. I'm happy that a lot of you, if not all of you in the chat right now, chose Glimesh. And it's my job, it's literally my job to make sure that I can provide and we can provide the best possible streaming site for you. So thank you for sticking around, thank you for being here. I just wanted to say that. So let's move on to metrics. So metrics are going to be kind of focused more on social media, on usage, on traffic. Financials is its own independent section now. So like we just talked about, one of our largest blockers to success is the growth of the platform. We have streams, we have the ability to stream to the platform, the ability to view, but without more viewers, without more streamers, it is really hard to kind of gain traction. I like to think about it as like for most online projects, whether it be games or sites or social media platforms or whatever it is, there's essentially a snowball effect. And, you're more likely to use a product that your friends are using, and you're more likely to recommend a product that you like, which then recommends that your friends use it, and it's like it's a whole effect. And Glimesh in the early days when we were launching kind of had that snowball effect. But of course, with any, alpha that experiences problems, people were either disappointed or they just wanted to wait until something, better was available. And so I think that for us, we're not going to really see a large uptick in growth. One of the things that we've been doing is really focusing on a social media presence, being able to post, daily topics, being able to interact with users, being able to, like, retweet, and follow a bunch of people. But even throughout that, we haven't really seen growth. I made this new chart here, which shows since March our overall social media following, and so that's what this number at the top is. And then it also breaks down each independent, category of social media, and they're color coded over here. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Oh, no, yeah, you can. No, you can't. No, you can't.
Bring out the laser pointer.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I can't do either one, so I don't have a laser pointer, unfortunately. But you can see basically the labels line up with the colors, of course, on the chart. And so you can see that basically over time we are declining in overall social media following, going from 17,641 to 17,213, even though May and June really contained really constant social media pushes. April we died down, we got quiet, but for May and June, especially June, we've really been pushing. So we will look at this metric again next month in July, at the end of July, of course, to see exactly how the social media fell. But at this point, I really do think that there's such an importance with communication. We have to be talking with users, but then B, that kind of snowball effect where you and your friends are using the platform, which means that you and your friends succeed, as opposed to just streaming alone on the platform. So I say that because it's not that we're not going to continue to try and grow as hard as possible. It's not that we're going to continue to post as much as we can in every location that we can, but I really don't expect to see growth until we get to the point where we're releasing that mobile app, and we're getting to the point where we're releasing improved video. I think those things are really what's going to not hold us back from growth, but those things are going to allow us to push a new and dedicated campaign of growth. I think what we can do here is we can pivot this slightly, and instead of saying like alpha phase 2, maybe that is what we say. We focus more on saying, hey, check out the new Glimesh, right? Check out the new features we updated, and we push that out to all of our users via email and social media. We can use that as kind of a way to provide that like entry point for people who considered Glimesh in the past, or who still follow us, who just haven't found the right time to switch or to try us out. And so I think if we launch onto that mobile app, to the video improvements, we're going to be able to come out of the gate when we release those and say like, hey, we're Glimesh, we're a series streaming platform, we've got a mobile app, we've got subscriptions, we've got chat, we've got APIs, we've got all sorts of features that will help you be successful. Come use it. So I say that because I just really don't expect, nothing we're doing seems to affect the growth. Nothing we've tried seems to be increasing it. And not that we shouldn't be trying, right? Maintaining that social media presence is very important, but I do think that launching a new phase is going to really help us grow and get kind of that snowball effect out there again. All right, so on the streamers/viewers front, we have started to balance around a common baseline post-launch. We launched at such a large scale. We had over 1 million page views in the first month, that it kind of skewed us for the future of metrics. So one of the things that we want to start getting towards is what is the Glimesh baseline. And I think with streamers and viewers, we're really starting to hit that unique baseline. You can see, this chart was engineered in a specific way to kind of show you very specifically what the week's traffic was, but overall this trend is kind of just like right now it's kind of flowing in the 2,000 to 3,000 peak viewers trajectory. I think we're going to see the same amount of viewers this upcoming week, and then of course into July. And then I think once we get into that mobile app, we're going to see more people. We're going to see more people start to view, just because it's going to be so easy on the mobile app. And then we're going to see more streamers actually try us out because they'll see more people using the platform, trying the platform. I think one of the things yet, though, for this graph is we really don't have enough data to define a trend or causality. Right now we don't necessarily know what things make people stream and what things make people view. We know the answer to that, right? It's whenever a streamer you want to watch is streaming, that's when you're viewing, or whenever you want to discover something new to watch, that's when you're viewing. But there's ways to kind of advertise that to more people and get more people engaged when they do want to view and make Glimesh their choice instead of another site. So I say that because we'll gain more data over time that'll help give us more insight, but for now it's nothing crazy. And Banjax, that's a great point. So I think one of the things we'll see is when we release that mobile app, we should see the peak viewers number go up. And if we don't, that's when we have to say, okay, what the hell is going on here? Why didn't releasing the mobile app help increase viewership? Because that's literally what it's designed to do. And so I think that's when we'll start to actually get more data out of this. Excuse me. All right, and then as well, I put together our metrics as far as social media and website traffic goes. This tracks all of our social media follows on a month-to-month basis. I am still tracking week to week, but really week to week is so variable. Month to month is a little bit more helpful. So I think really you can kind of infer your own data here, but realistically this is kind of just repeating what I'm showing. This is follows. These are follows. So, even though we've been pushing out constant Twitter updates and announcements, we've been going up in followers, but it seems to be able to bounce back down just as easily. So it doesn't really seem to be making like a direct impact on net new growth. It seems that people are either losing interest in us as fast as they're gaining interest in us, or something else, and it's just not quantifiable enough to actually, make a decision about this. And then for website traffic, we do track this, month over month, and as well as all of our website analytics is public. You can see here, this is just exactly what you'd expect. Huge peak for launch, absolutely huge. Almost 200,000 people looked at our website. And then, of course, since then, we've been going down. Now, we're not super far away from last month as far as unique visitors goes, but page views is down dramatically. All right, and then next we're going to talk about finances. So the first things to know here is that our finances are essentially split up into two categories, beyond revenue and expenses. We have software as a service, which is generally recurring revenue. That's things like subscriptions. And then we also have physical sales, which is generally one time. That's t-shirts, things like that. This financial spreadsheet breaks that down into two categories, and then it also shows you a traditional P&L itemization. So this is the first time we've ever included all financial transactional data. We've included, revenue, income, profit before, but we kind of we didn't hide. That's such a weird thing to say. We didn't hide, but we just rolled up some of the numbers in other numbers because it didn't really make sense to split them out on a week-by-week basis. But now that we're doing monthly, this is basically all of the main categories of all of our spend. So we'll start with software as a service. These are subscriptions that happen on the platform. Let me give a quick explanation here. So gross subscriptions is the total amount of money that Glimesh receives through subscriptions before we split it out to streamers. So, for June, we had $6,000 of subscriptions, and then we split it out and gave the streamers $1,451, and then Stripe charged us, basically $1,400 in fees, and then we were left with $3,000 of revenue directly towards Glimesh. Now, this isn't your traditional revenue sense. Traditional revenue would be this line, but this is really what we have to work with. I don't consider these expenses because these are not, this is not something that is negotiable. Streamer payouts is a set fixed sum. So you can see that the total revenue from the platform is $3,000 for this month. We also made $56 in merch sales, but you can see that our fees exceeded the cost of the merch this month. The February and March when we were really advertising merch, and since then we have not tweeted about it once, so I'm not surprised that merch sales are really low. We also haven't introduced any new merch, and we haven't introduced any new types of merch, so take it for what you will. Merch has just not been a major focus. You can also see here that for any months where we don't sell more than $130 basically, we don't make any money. And then one of the other things I want to point out is we did design our merch very specifically to be fair and equal for all. So any of the sizes cost the same amount of money, and any of the shipping to anywhere in the world costs the same amount of money. So we're not charging you for size or shipping location. And we've also kind of min-maxed it to not, take gross profits from it. We're trying to get some profits from it, but we're not trying to, we're trying to make money off the subscriptions, not merch. All right, so then we have expenses. So these are kind of our server expenses. This is one of the main costs that we have. We did have credits at some point for DigitalOcean, and so some of these numbers are to help us calculate those credits. So this is before credits, after credits, etc. At this point now, we do not have any more credits, so we've been spending out of our own pocket. So you can see here that our total DigitalOcean server costs was about $1,500, and we had no overages on bandwidth, which is a good thing. We can make these costs less if we need to, but right now we're running with kind of a standard infrastructure. And then a new category we have, which we traditionally just rolled up, is other financial spend, so other expenses. One category is called recurring services. These are services like our translation service, our error reporting service, miscellaneous hosting fees or domain costs. These are things that recur on some kind of interval, mostly monthly. And then we also have one-time services, which is maybe tax services or legal services or equipment purchases. These are one-time and not expected to happen recurringly. This one, for example, was our trademark. This one was our taxes, and I forgot what this one was. And then we have a third category here, which is charitable donations. This is money we've donated to charities on behalf of Glimesh. We donated $50 in May, and then we donated $1,000 in June. To clarify a couple of quick numbers here, normally our monthly expenses for recurring services is about $260. That's what we should expect to spend. But recently, one of our vendors, AppSignal, really upgraded our plan, and they are now charging $289 a month, which is our highest non-DigitalOcean service. That's not going to be acceptable for us, so we're going to switch away from them. And that'll bring our expenses down to $260 again. And then the $1,000 charitable donation was for the children, right? Absolutely, because it was the right thing to do. But the GCX event had some issues, and our booth was comped. So we wanted to give that money back to the charity anyway. So we just ended up donating the entire cost of the event to them. All right, so then you can see here, these are the totals. This is how income and expenses actually lay out. These are just sums of some of the bolded variables above, and then along with our profit. So you can see every month we definitely make profit, we don't pay anyone here, so of course that's not including any kind of salaries. There are no salaries, but I would say don't worry at all about this negative number here. This is literally just because we donated $1,000 to charity and because we AppSignal increased their pricing. I think right now we're still doing really good as far as our profitability margins come into play. I would say that our servers are overscaled dramatically from where we're at now. We have about 14. We have about 15 servers at the moment. In reality, we could get by with about 5, if not less. But I don't want to scale us down because it's important to have servers in those locations across the globe to give you the best possible FTL experience. So if we had to really crunch down because revenue is just decreasing so dramatically, then we could scale back those servers pretty dramatically and probably break that cost above down to about about $500. So instead of doing that, instead of making FTL worse in edge locations, we're going to cut down some of those recurring services. All right, and then we're going to get into team reports next. I just want to answer one quick question here. If we have that much server space, why are we still having significant throughput issues? I'm not aware of any throughput issues. Most, if not all, of the issues we've had with streams has been packet loss on the streamer's side. So your router or your internet provider is throttling you in some way. Your speed test may work great, but we send really large UDP packets, which you don't do unless you're maybe on like a video call or something. And most ISPs, especially traditional American ISPs, are not really set up for it. So we've, a lot of people have thought it's not their internet and there's no way it could be their internet. And we've proven in 100% of the cases it absolutely is your internet. And you just don't know it because this type of traffic is not normal for you. So, like Paco said, if you're having any issues, please open a streaming help ticket. We can help you get it resolved. Not only can we prove where it's happening, but we can also help you fix it. Yeah, I think there's a lot of, let's not get into what it could be. I've yet to see any cases where it's not the streamer or the viewer. Not that our servers don't have issues, not that networks don't have issues, but it's normally very temporary when that happens. All right, so let's get into team reports. So this section is all about giving you updates on what the teams are working on. All of our teams are stocked full of volunteers. I mostly spend my time on the product right now, on the development, but I dabble. So I'm going to give the product development team update. Like I said before, the mobile app is significantly underway. That is the primary focus right now. We want to get an app that you can view streams on as a first priority, and then as a second priority, an app that you can subscribe on, and then as a third, not even included priority, streaming. Right now, we're not working on streaming from mobile at all. It's not even a focus. We're mainly focused on that viewership aspect. If we did want to work on that streaming aspect, we would definitely have to add that to the roadmap, and it would be its own item. The second thing is that we are pretty heavily experimenting on building a more reliable, low latency infrastructure. We definitely had FTL has been critical and absolutely necessary for what Glimesh has had, and I think FTL is the right choice for us. It gives us that competitive edge. It gives us that low latency streams that just aren't even possible on other protocols, but we definitely need a solution for worse networks, for people who don't have the opportunity to be able to call their ISP and get it fixed, for ISPs who don't have the ability to fix their network. We have to be able to provide something. And so I personally, and along with Hayden, are doing our independent research on what could be the best possible solution to maintain our low latency, but also hopefully help fix some of that packet loss issues. And then as a third, channel emotes slash hosting slash rating has of course stalled due to those above. We also just really don't have enough people to work on those. So we've got channel emotes released in some fashion, and we will come back around in the future to kind of clean that up a little bit. The new API has also been deployed to many users. We actually now have Streamloots running on the new API, and then we're going to be making a change to Janus as well in the near future to use that new API. It's virtually the same API as you're using today. It's not ready for everyone yet, but it does add a bunch of new features that I know a lot of our authors, our bot authors, will love. And then, as I spoke to a minute ago, AppSignal is increasing their pricing, or at least increasing our plan. So we are actively working on deploying cheaper infrastructure to manage not only our web app performance, but also performance across all of our services, to track things like streams, to track some of our network latency, to help identify issues before they happen, and give us more diagnostic tools into how to fix them. And then we have fixed a number of bugs that have been problems. One of the things we did is we reduced the time it takes to start your stream. So now when you hit start stream, that should happen faster. That was an issue for some people. The number of followers you had essentially was what made it worse. And then we fixed light mode. It was hiding a couple of text on several of our pages. And then we removed some of the unsubscribe button confusion that we had on the payments page that was making it really awkward for users to unsubscribe. We definitely want unsubscribing to be very easy, so we didn't want that existing. All right, Paco, do you want to give the community team update and then do the events and biz dev as well, and then I'll come back to marketing.
All right, sounds good. So first off, with the community team, it's been relatively quiet overall for the last little while, which in a way is a good thing for the community team because that means there's not as many people having issues, whether it be problems with streaming or you're reporting people, whatever the case may be. Anything that they feel requires them to reach out to an official team, they haven't been having those issues as much. So that's really given us time to go out and not look for any issues, but to casually interact with streams and get to know people. So I'm sure some people definitely have noticed an increase in how much you see the GCT out and around the community now, and it's really been great getting to spend time out talking to people. um, and on top of that, we are planning a new web show that we're going to be streaming on Glimesh either weekly or bi-weekly. We don't know yet. We're still in the early stages. And the community team is going to be hosting these streams, and it's going to be a way for the community to connect to both the Glimesh team and to other community members. Now that the team meetings are going to be monthly, we're hoping that this is going to be the source of information, community-focused discussions that we normally get every week with the like after the team meetings where everybody asks questions, we have discussions and talk about cinder blocks and whatever else comes up. Um, so that's the community team, and I'm really excited about that. For the events team, we hosted GCX back in June. Um, we had a lot of people know the issues that happened with the entire situation, and because of that, our booth ended up being comped. They refunded the booth to us, but they did make us an offer to be able to attend next year in person. um, so that was super exciting. We're looking forward to that next year, and hopefully we'll be in a great place where we're going to have a ton of support going into that. As far as anything else in June, it was community event wise relatively quiet in June. And then for the biz dev team, I'm sure a lot of you noticed we now have our partnership going with Streamloots. You can log in to the Streamloots website with your Glimesh TV login. We've got that integration, and hopefully we will be getting the Streamloots integration into Glimesh this week. Right? Is that correct, Clone? Maybe,
Yes, sorry, I
maybe
had
not.
two
Okay.
locations to unmute.
And other than that, we're just, as always, the biz dev team is discussing ideas and options with a lot of other third parties, and really looking for companies that we want to align ourselves with. It's not just about who's big and who's popular and who can get the most eyes on us. We want to make sure that we align ourselves with companies that fit in with our ethos and our ideals. Like, we're not gonna go partner with some scummy company just to try and get more people here, because that's not what we're about. And that's it for the three teams that I deal with. Clone, you want to go talk about marketing a bit?
Yeah, thanks. I will. All right, so then marketing, like I said a little bit earlier, I don't mean to devalue the work that we're doing in marketing, and I think if we weren't doing that work in marketing, it would be so much worse. We would start losing that social media traction really, really hard. And so I don't want to use the metrics as a way of dismissing any of the work that the marketing team is doing. I just want to say that off first. So I apologize if it comes across like that. That's definitely not the intention. I think it's important that we look at the metrics to determine how things are working and to plan our future. But it's never a tool for making people feel guilty or anything like that. So I think that our marketing team this month has done a really great job. We've pushed out not only these 4 videos: how to get on the homepage, mod tool permissions, own your own content, and an FTL speed comparison, but we pushed out the GCX event, all of the marketing related to that, and then on top of that, a Getting to Know Glimesh campaign, which has so far reached about 19,000 impressions. So really a ton of content going out there, a lot of really great campaigns that we can use again in the future. Take, for example, own your content. All we have to do is wait for another sting of affiliate contracts that other people have, and push that own your own content video out, and that could be something that really helps us grow. Especially if we look at paid advertising or paid promotional opportunities, these videos could really be something that help bring in a new audience. So having them is awesome, and being able to use them at any time is even more awesome.
I
And
think
then
having that stable of videos really helps too, because then you can get into situations where they complement one another. Get the own your own content to get them looking at you, and then hit them with the way we monetize about our subscriptions, and then they're going to be like, you know what?
oops, that was the wrong site. But yeah, exactly. And I think like what Paco just said is so important, because that's exactly what we did. Whenever GCX was happening, one of the things that we did was we reposted all of our existing content. That way, all of our new audiences could see what we're about, right? So we had, this video reposted, we had this one reposted, and we were able to kind of cater them to the audiences that we're expecting to receive from the GCX event. And so, you may be seeing it several times, right? But for some people, this video could be the first time they see Glimesh. And so having these nice professional, really creative videos, I think is going to be awesome in the future for sure, and awesome now. My favorite thing actually was this thread here. I just want to show this off. This is our pinned tweet right now. It's called Getting to Know Glimesh, and it basically runs you through very quickly, how we handle DMCA requests, and then it talks about I don't remember what it is. Oh, and then it talks about we can of course have floggies, and then it talks about random chances to be on the home page, how to manage your permissions. And so like if you discover Glimesh for the first time, you just roll through this thread and you have everything you need to know. And so that was definitely 100% community driven. All of those campaigns, all of the decisions made there were done by our marketing channel, which is hashtag marketing and Discord. That was all done by not only members of our GCT who are working on their marketing skills, but also brand new contributors who had never really helped us push anything out to production before. And so that channel has really brought forth a lot of energy, and I want to thank everyone there for what they're doing. All right. So normally in a board meeting, we'd also have where we talk about any kind of motions that we want to make, any kind of decisions that we're making for the night, we would call that new business. And then previous business would be things that we left over from previous board meetings or things that we needed to discuss but we had to table. We actually don't have either of those right now. I don't have any motions to make. So that would be the end of our first ever Glimesh team meeting. So I want to thank everyone for attending. I guess let me just do a really quick formality. I motion that this meeting has now concluded. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Okay, there we go. All right. So that's the meeting, everyone. Thank you for attending. Thank you for being with us on this new format. We're trying to make it kind of more formal, and then also take in some inspiration from nonprofits that do public board meetings like this. Thank you, everyone, for attending. What we're going to do now is we're going to stay on the stream. We're going to end the recording, but we're going to stay on the stream and answer any of those questions that you all had that you didn't get resolved. Anything about features, business, if clarification on any of the data I talked about here, any of the expenses, we are completely open book. So please ask away. Thank you so much, YouTube. Thank you so much for people who are watching this. See you later.